Welcome back to yet another episode of the Talkatives Sports Podcast. It's just me and Shags here today, but we have a lot of stuff to get through, so I promise you won't be missing out. And here we go. Let's start it off. There was Champions League back this week, and of course, we got to start off in the one place we have to. But before we start off, I gotta, rep the swag. I gotta thank you to football. Who was the guys? Recently closed.
Shout out to whoever the guys were.
I forget. But next podcast, I'm gonna get you guys this answer. But it's a nice jersey, treble jersey, showing off the Manchester City treble. You got the treble in the middle. You got the Champions League on the sleeve. Premier League. And then back there, you got the turnaround. You got the Man City. The year with the what? I had to show off the swag real quick. I had to show it off. Listen, next podcast, next episode, I'll share the details, or if anything, it'll be in the description below if you want to cop yourself something. Last time I looked, it was sold out, but I think by this time, by the time you're viewing this, maybe they have something up, but we shall see. Anyways, now let's really get started. Manchester United, they played Copenhagen today, and boy, was that something. That was quite the match. It was the first half was the first half was a movie. So, Manchester City. It started off with Manchester United. Hoyland had himself a brace. Looking at the formation coming in, I always thought that with the way Garnacho was playing and the lack of form that Rashford had, Garnacho was undroppable. He had to stay in the team. Now you have to also keep Rashford in there because that's your talisman. And even though he's not in the best of form, maybe switching him over to the right would give him a breath of fresh air, would give him some new ideas. And he's right foot, it's a strong foot, so he'd have his strong foot to supply crosses to Hoyland, right? That was my thinking. Obviously, Ed Ten Hag thought the same, and boom, that's exactly what it was coming in. You had Hoyland in the middle, Garnacho on the left, Rashford on the right, and the first goal was a thing of beauty. Started off the ball with Rashford on the right. Then comes Wan-Bissaka on an overlap. Rashford gives it to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka draws in defenders. A late midfield run from Scott McTominay. Wan-Bissaka lays off that ball beautifully for McTominay. McTominay whizzes a ball right in front of the goal, and Hoyland's right there for the tap in. And it is what it is. Off to the running, or you would think. Then came the handball after United's second goal, which was Copenhagen's first goal, and then the controversy. Red card to Marcus Rashford, and that is where I'd like to start. To you, Mr. Sheggs, do you think that was an adequate card called on Rashford?
Yes, it was. It's definitely a red card. He goes in, studs into the ankle, like lower shin Achilles area, and like Man U fans can complain all they want. Oh, he went for the ball. He was trying to do this, but at the end of the day, his studs made contact with another player's ankle, and that's a dangerous tackle. And dangerous tackles get red cards. They don't get yellows anymore. It's straight red. Like, it doesn't matter. The only way to survive that kind of tackle is if you go in with the top of your foot and you hit them there. But anything with studs, contact with studs, is just an automatic red. And I'm sorry to Man U fans. I think even the whole Rashford send off, the collapse shouldn't have been so spectacular. Because at the end of the day, Rashford is a striker. Like he's a winger, but he's an attacker. and that shouldn't stop you. That shouldn't. A Rashford red card doesn't mean you concede 4 goals to FC Copenhagen in what's probably was a must-win game for them. And now, if I look at the table, they are dead last the table, so it's unacceptable. I know Man U fans, they're very upset right now. I know we discussed Ten Hag's future. It's not looking good. This is what game 1 of 5. I think Zach said they would win all of those games. So yeah, that's 1 L, and it doesn't get easier for them. It doesn't at all. Okay, they get Luton,
Okay.
Everton, but then they have to go to Galatasaray. So wish them all the best, but not really.
So you would think you would think they beat Galatasaray though, right?
No, I think they drew to Galatasaray in the other game.
But yes, in the last one, yes, but with these last two
Oh
matches
no,
being
they lost at home. They lost
oh,
at home to
wait,
Galatasaray
what was
on October
what was the
3rd.
scoreline?
So it's
What
like,
was the
do I
scoreline?
expect them to go to Turkey and get a win? No, especially since Rashford won't be playing. I think
Oh
it's
yeah, that was
over
a
for
straight
them. They
red.
have 3 points in that group.
Oh, that was a straight red.
You
Wait, so is Rashford suspended for the
know,
next two matches or just the next one?
I think it'll probably be 2. It's a reckless, dangerous challenge. It's not like, and a straight red carries more.
Sheesh.
I don't know how many. There's 2 games left.
So you
Let me
think no
see.
points? So you don't think there's any points in their last two matches, last two Champions League group stage matches? No points that they could pick up because it's Galatasaray and then Bayern. I don't think they're picking up any points at Bayern, but I mean Bayern was they let didn't these guys score against them? Galatasaray scored today, right? It was what 2-1. Bayern
Yeah, I
has
mean,
been Bayern has been open defensively, so maybe they could
it
get
was
one
it
point.
was, but that was when the game was already won though. Galatasaray scored 90 plus 3. Kane had already won it late and was 2-0 up. So I don't think that means Manchester United will get anything against Bayern. That's definitely going to be an L for them. And
Well, if
Galatasaray
you look at
have to fight to 4. Like they don't want to finish last. Like all they have to do is keep United to a draw, park the bus, and that's it. And they're through. They're either through to Europa or they're through to the 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 next round, the round of 16. So it's like, Man United, I don't think they're gonna make it out that great. And it might be
mm,
so bad that they get knocked out of Europe too, because
mm,
Galatasaray at home, Galatasaray at home, and Galatasaray get to play Copenhagen in their last game. So it's in Galatasaray's hands. Like, and also Man U are just not beating Bayern. It doesn't matter. Like Bayern, this will be like the second, third great straight group where Bayern is taking full points in their group. Like they do that every year. So yeah, not looking
look,
good.
I think I might have to agree. I think I think yeah, I think they had to win today to keep their Champions League hopes alive. And with this loss today, I think they can really call it done and dusted. Unless Copenhagen gets 0 points from their last two matches, I would think looking at the table, even if Manchester United got a full 6 points, right?
Now put them on 9. All Copenhagen and Galatasaray have to do, well, a full 6 points for Man U would put them.
They'll put them on
If they
9.
beat Galatasaray, they go up to 6. They beat Bayern, they go up to 9. Copenhagen have to play Bayern. They're not winning that game. And then
No, they're
Copenhagen
not.
have to play Galatasaray. So it's like they could still, it doesn't matter. They could still finish third, even if they win both games.
I mean, but that's not bad. I mean, I think ideally for United, they want to stay in Europe, right?
Yeah, but It seems like only Chelsea knows how to win the Europa League. Um, so
Whether or not you win, we're just talking about you last as long as you can. You rack up the ticket prices, and then when you're out, you're out.
I don't know. It's if I was Manchester United, I'd rather just finish fourth and take the L because then at least you can focus on being back in Europe and in the top four next season. Um, I don't know. I guess it differs by club. I don't think Manchester United fans will want to even care about winning the Europa League. Like I don't think that's something they want. I think they'd rather just finish that last. And honestly, it's not up to them. So it's like it's not up to them. It's whether Galatasaray wants to beat them or knock them out. That's it. And whether Bayern decide if they're gonna play well that game. Like I don't think there's anything Man United really don't.
Galatasaray's at 50 points. They're gonna go. They're gonna go for blood. I think Galatasaray is gonna beat them. I'm just playing devil's advocate at this point and just seeing if there's any hope left for them. But it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like there's any hope left for them at all.
Look, all Galatasaray have to do is just stop them from scoring, and then depending on what Bayern do in the last game, Galatasaray and FC will just fight it out, duke it out for that second position. And for each of those teams, Europa League isn't bad for them, so they could just draw, in that last game if that's what they need to go through
Mm.
to the next round or whatever competition. It's sad.
All
Sad,
right. So
sad.
last question. Last question on United. Last question on United. We've discussed Ten Hag's future, and we've discussed that we don't think he'll make it to January, right?
Yeah.
Now, with that being the case, you can't blame today's loss on him. You just can't.
How though? Why not? We've
What do
seen
you mean?
Liverpool
Why
play.
not?
We've seen Liverpool.
Okay, so hold on, wait, hold on, wait. Let me just put this out, right? And as a Manchester City fan, I hate to defend anything United, but I feel like we've been on Ten Hag for so long. I have to come to his defense today because I feel like he did it. He put the team in the best position to win, and the team just failed him. That's literally what happened today, and specifically Rashford. Rashford failed him. Like so get this right. He put them out right. He put a lineup out there that was it had goals in it. It had goals in it, and he stayed true to the guys that have been performing well. Garnacho, Varane was in the team. Maguire, even though he's caught a lot of stick this season, he's had put a decent run of performances in, so he stayed in the team and so on and so forth. So all right, and he was immediately rewarded, bro. They scored inside 3 minutes. It was 2-0 before 30 minutes.
I mean, but by the end of the day, they're expected to win that game, and they didn't. Like the collapse. It's like we've seen Liverpool and how good they play when they go down a man and they come back and win. We've seen Spurs like Postecoglou attempt to play that high line because he believes in his team and their ability. But man, you just have no
I love
plan.
that interview, by the way.
Yeah, like man, you just have no plan for when they go a man down, and it's not like it's a key midfielder or defender. It's an attack. Just switch up the formation, switch to plan B and just, have two lines behind the ball and Holland up front. Like it's really that simple. And that mentality to like see the win through, it all comes from the coach and the top and just having confidence and he's definitely not blameless at all for this, but I can see why the players are also at fault too because he gave them everything, but it's like Rashford has only gotten sent off 2 times in his career. I think this is his second red card, and these
I
things
think,
happen, and you got to
oh,
be for the worst case scenario.
I think the lack of him being sent off just further points to the point that I'm making
But
that
still, though, it doesn't matter who it
it's not
is.
it's not Ten Hag's fault.
It doesn't matter who it is. Like Rashford got sent off for a terrible tackle. Anybody can make a bad tackle in the game and get sent off. But when they do, you have to have a plan. How do we play when we're down to 10 men? And how do we like even as simple as how do we preserve a 2-0 win or a 2-0 lead for 45 minutes? Like come on now. Like it can't Ten Hag did not have a plan for that, and he's definitely like he's not innocent at all in this, and you can't
Well,
just blame
what
him.
I'll last thing I'll say on United before I move on. I definitely think they need to find a new set piece coach because the guy that they have, he's not doing it for him. He's not doing it for him.
The
All right.
funniest part about all this,
What?
when I saw the Bruno Fernandes goal, I was like, oh, they somehow still managed to win. Good for them. And then I went back and looked at it, and it was 4-3.
To be honest, Bruno. So with the way that was working out, Bruno actually helped out with that goal because he and that first off they were not able to clear out that ball at all. That last goal, they were not able to clear it out at all. And Bruno was playing so deep, he kept everybody on side. So that's why those crosses kept coming in when the ball was just being failed to be let out. It's tough. It's tough. All right, moving on. Arsenal won today 2-0. They are at the top of their table, of their group rather. They look like they're about to walk away with it. Same with Real Madrid. Real Madrid is on 12 points, just like Bayern Munich. And I believe my Manchester City, they've gone undefeated, all of us, because we're like that. But I think the game I really want to point to is actually yesterday's game, PSG Newcastle. And specifically from the PSG side of things, I said PS. Yeah, I said PSG. I said Newcastle. I meant PSG AC Milan. I'm sorry, guys. But specifically from the PSG side of things, Shags, what is going on with your guy Mbappe? And on top of that, today reports were came out. Real Madrid have said they are not interested. Next summer, they will not be going after this man.
Damn, I thought that was their guy. I don't believe that. There's no way they chased him this hard just to
Oh,
turn around and say he's not their guy.
oh,
I
nah, nah,
can
nah, bro. Nah, it was not. It was all over ESPN report, Bleacher Report. Nah, it was official.
look. I don't know what. I don't know that's really hard for me to believe right now
Hold
that Madrid don't want Mbappe. But as far as what's going on with Mbappe, like what he's playing. He's playing for his team. I think his
on. Believe
contract
so.
expires at the end of the year, or he didn't sign a new one. So at the end of the day, he still gets to choose where he goes. And PSG, they got the win. They got their win against them. Mbappe scored, Lee scored. Shout out my Asian footballers. And yeah, they're probably gonna make it out the group. It looks like Newcastle, with
You
all
said
the pressure
PSG's gonna
back
make it out the group.
to win, we're gonna end up out of Europe, which is like,
Newcastle is definitely gonna end up out of Europe. But you said PSG's gonna make it out the group.
yeah, it looks like they will. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. They have
I don't
Newcastle.
know, bro. They have Newcastle and they have Dortmund left.
Shit. I
I
mean,
think AC Milan is gonna AC Milan.
we should be expecting PSG to make it out the group. They have like one of the
And
best teams in that group.
that's what I'm saying. We should, but with the way they're playing, I don't think so. You got Mbappe not even wanting to track back, leaving consistently leaving his defenders at risk of being outnumbered due to counterattacks because he's not coming back to help.
Well, the coach needs to figure out a way to either make
The
him track back or build a
coach
system that
lets him. The
minimizes
coach lets
his
him.
defense.
You think? Hold on. You think the PSG manager could do anything when you got the French national team manager that allows him to play however he wants. And I'm saying, these managers' names because their names escape me at the moment. But when throughout the entire World Cup reign, that's part of the reason why, they had some issues in the game in the final against Argentina, and part of the reason why Giroud couldn't finish that game and they had to take him off because Mbappe was not coming back. And Giroud with he just doesn't have the legs to come back anymore. So like it was two people that just stayed up there. It consistently left them
But at the
out.
end of the day, that worked for France. That works for France. And at the end of the day, they were one Martinez leg away from winning the World Cup. So like as far as the France national team goes, let him. That team is way too stacked. They can handle Mbappe not tracking back. As far as PSG goes, now that's on the coach. Like Mbappe is a human being. He's not some kind of French god. Tell that boy to track back.
But
Or
here's the thing: he won a
build a
World Cup
support
playing
team.
that
Him
way.
covers
He
up for
won.
it's like bombing forward. Liverpool know that dude is gonna be up there when they hit the counter. They have to adjust for that, or else they keep getting cooked on that wing. So it's just like they have an Mbappe problem, but they should also have an Mbappe solution.
But
So
here's
I
the
can't
thing:
say Mbappe fraud. That's just coaching. That's bad coaching.
you can't say that because here's the thing: he won a World Cup that way. He won a World Cup that way.
Well,
And he went to this last World Cup and continues, and the coach let him play that way. If he's doing that on the biggest stage, the stage that you have told me is the highest level of competition you could reach in the sport that the man plays in. If he's able to play that way at the highest level, what makes you think he will listen to the manager and tell him to try to do something different on club level?
well, that's the thing, though. He if he doesn't want to listen, me personally as a coach, like you can go to Real Madrid if you want, because I don't think he even has a future at PSG. First of all, because he's literally the problem. If we are conceding goals because Mbappe refuses to track back,
No, that's exactly what it
I'm
is.
gonna have a team meeting. I'm gonna break it down. Mbappe, you need to track back. I'm gonna say it in front of everybody to let them know there's no favorites here. Like you can't just like sit up front and just be up there and then the rest of it's a team sport. It's not. This is PSG. It's not Mbappe FC. So if the coach isn't capable of controlling Mbappe and convincing him to help out in defense, at least dropping back to midfield sometimes, then
But
it's not
considering the
guys.
power,
It's who the one
considering the
one the
power
people with
considering the power Mbappe
one.
has at the club, do you think the manager has the? Do you think he thinks he has the right to say? And not to have the right. He probably thinks he has the right. But you think he thinks he's in a situation where he's able to treat Mbappe like that?
Well, if he's not able, then he shouldn't be the coach. He shouldn't be the coach. He's there to
I
coach.
don't think that's
Like
fair.
your players should respect your decisions as the manager, and if they don't, it's in your right. It's
But
like it's your
if
right
the
to tell them.
institution has told you the player is more important than you, if the institution has told you the player is more important than you, and they might not have told you discreetly. I mean, might not have told you legitly that's the case. But actions speak louder than words. You've seen the contract on man's side. You've seen how you know you see what happened this past summer. Somebody that doesn't have somebody that doesn't have PSG in their back pocket. That's not how they be able to.
Man, nah. It's like okay, if the establishment is really telling me as the manager that that player is untouchable, then I'm gonna also tell management, okay, well these are the consequences of him being untouchable, and I'm gonna keep reminding them about it, and then they can't complain to me when we're up 3-0 and then we draw 3-3 because Mbappe doesn't track back. It's like yo, the guys in charge of PSG aren't stupid people. They aren't just splashing, throwing money away at Mbappe. They want him for a reason, and they should be able to like control him. And it's like this club does not belong to Mbappe; it belongs to the owners, and the owners want to do what they want to win, and they're not gonna win if they keep getting exposed because Mbappe doesn't feel like tracking back. That it's a team effort. So it's like it's either a failure of leadership or you just give Mbappe the keys and deal with the consequences. Like I'm not a PSG fan. If any of y'all watching are PSG fans that want to comment on this and tell us what's really going on, please do. You're welcome. But it's like, me personally as a coach, Mbappe, you're at least getting back to halftime. You're at least putting some pressure. You're at least putting some pressure on the goalie, on the defense, on the midfield. I'm not asking you to be in the box defending because I definitely want to keep you up there. But come on, help out a little bit. Like you have to contribute on some
Don't
type
even
of
do.
defense.
I can't tell you how many times. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the man just, you know, walk in or a slight jog back. This is while a whole
Bro,
counterattack is taking
I
place.
know. Have you seen Messi's MLS clips of
Yeah,
how little he does?
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's
him.
Messi. That's Messi. You expect that. You expect that from Messi. He's already Messi has worked to be able to be like this. What has Mbappe done?
But like, no, no,
He's won a World Cup,
wait,
and that's
let's
the issue.
wait. No, 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 no. Let's not talk about what they've done because let's talk about how they deal with that. Because in MLS, Messi can walk all over the pitch, but the rest of the team is making up. They don't need Messi to defend. So that's another thing. If you're not going to tell your star player to track back, at least have a system behind them to cover for that.
I mean, it's all youngins around him, though. Bro, did you see the midfield they started against AC Milan? I think that was the youngest midfield that actually went out in this round of group stages. If anything, I'd probably say Dortmund probably has, since they're called the youngsters.
Oh
Um,
man,
Europe
oh, man.
typically,
I don't rate this coach so much. I read his name and then I forgot his name. Yeah,
bro. But I'm pretty sure they had a 17-year-old or
Luis
in
Enrique.
midfield.
Nah, Luis Enrique needs to
I'm pretty sure PSG had a 17-year-old in their midfield, bro.
Why is he playing 17? Why does he have to start 17-year-old? They're
I mean,
PSG, can't they afford
best
anybody?
best
But
player,
that is
best
also
players
their
play, bro.
new
The best players on the team play.
yeah, that is also their new policy. Like PSG are going away from the flashy players model and trying to, get some academy kids in. So I feel them. Like if they're capable of starting in the Champions League at 17, then why not? You see Lamine Yamal for Barcelona, that kid is super talented. But yeah, it's on the coach to build a system where Mbappe isn't the reason why they win and lose. Like
Mm.
they can't live by Mbappe, die by Mbappe is not a good policy because like if he doesn't score, then you're conceding.
All right.
Also,
Before we move on, any other Champions League scores that stand out to you or matches that you want to comment on personally or out of interest?
Champions League. I see this team, Real Social Dad, is top of their group, and I think they're also unbeaten.
Who's in their group?
Um,
Let me go look at it.
yeah, they're in there with Inter, Salzburg, and Benfica, which is like a
Okay, it's not a bad group.
maybe,
It's not a bad
not the group of death, but maybe like the group of misery. I don't know.
the group of misery. What it, the group of misery.
But yeah, they're top of that group with no
Ah,
loss. Inter have also not
no,
lost.
honestly,
Huh. That's a fun group right there. Salzburg and Benfica just been complete trash. Never mind. Never mind.
yeah,
Yeah,
three,
Benfica
three
haven't
and
won
four
since.
losses each. 3 and 4 losses each. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
wow. That is very
you.
sad. I
I
wonder
don't
if
think
Real
that.
Sociedad.
I would think that group will be a little more balanced, but no, it's not.
I will say I'm surprised by how close Group E Atletico Madrid's group is. Um, eight.
Feyenoord, okay.
Yeah,
Celtic,
I'm very surprised. I'm very
Celtic,
surprised by how close that group is.
yeah, Celtic have a chance to like be the villains and send somebody and choose who they send to the Europa League because they already done. I don't even. I mean, fair.
Nah,
Yeah,
they're done.
yeah.
Celtic is done. Celtic's done. They're
But yeah,
done.
they
They're
have,
done.
they have a choice to decide.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to ruin somebody's day. Who moves on in Champions League, who gets relegated to Europa. But for them, they themselves, this is over with.
So it's done. It's done so
All
far.
right. I guess that's it for Europe. We'll be back next time around. But we had some matches over this past weekend, Premier League specifically, and as we always talk about the downside, so we have to talk about the upsides when they win. Although the way they went about it can be is a bit questionable here, but Chelsea did win against Tottenham, and to say it was a good game
I think
is
that was one
possible.
of it was definitely game of the weekend. First of
What
all, it was
game of the
definitely
weekend?
probably the most entertaining match because I wouldn't say it was great football, but it was box office.
What do you mean box office? What exactly was box
Box
office
office.
about that match? Please
It
tell
was
me.
what the hell is going on here? Why and why is Nicolas Jackson scoring a hat trick before? I don't know how many people have scored a hat trick
Please,
this year.
please tell the audience when the two of his goals came.
Hey man, I mean a goal is a goal though, like
I understand, but we're all about full context here. Tell the audience when two of his goals came. That's it. That's all I
oh,
asked.
shit. He scored a 10-minute hat trick. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter
You're
when it came.
disrespectful. You're disrespectful.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because since you refuse to tell the audience, let me tell to our viewers and listeners. However, you listen to the podcast, we appreciate you. By the way, and if you didn't know, this podcast is now available wherever you can listen to your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. Um, so now, to our lovely viewers or listeners, however you choose, this is what went down, right? So while there were two full teams on the pitch, Jackson scored one goal. When Tottenham got their first red card, Jackson was nowhere to be seen. When then the Spurs got their second red card, that's when Jackson, the front runner, pulled up. Now, a hat trick is a hat trick. Kudos to him. It's a very difficult thing to do in the Premier League, regardless of whatever happens to the opposition. And that isn't. And I bring up the red cards not to say, not to diminish it or anything like that. Or well, actually, let me not say that. I do bring it up to diminish it, but not to diminish the fact that he did score a hat trick in the Premier League against another Premier League team, and understandably so. Red cards. It's not his fault. He didn't tell Spurs out there to be reckless with their tackles and get two yellow cards on Udogie's side and a reckless red card, straight red card with Christian Romero. Um, it is what it is. It happens. But I just bring it up to point out the fact the level of handicap the man needed for that hat trick to come about.
I don't think it's really was the handicap because he was having chances
Stop
before
it.
both red cards
And
went.
what was he doing? What was he doing? Like we know Jackson to do.
I mean, you can't like at the end of the day you can't knock him for scoring a goal. It's kind of OD to knock a striker, a 21-year-old who is a second top flight season. You can't knock him for scoring a Premier League hat trick, regardless of
I'm
what the
not
circumstances.
knocking him at all. I'd say it's very
And,
difficult to do.
and
Kudos
all
to
of
him.
those goals were very well taken. You can knock him for
Kudos
missing
to him.
chances, but
To
don't
be
knock.
honest, he had a hat trick. He should have had five on the day,
Yeah, he
but
should have. But
he should have
still,
had
for a striker, converting 3 out of 5 shots is still a very great day at the office.
no
So,
100%, 100%.
love
The
Jackson.
full context is needed as to when those goals came about because when there were two full teams on the pitch, it was rough going. It was rough
And
going. In fact, it could be arguable that Spurs probably should have been in the lead. So it could be arguable that Spurs probably should have been in the lead when they went down to 10 men. So
I mean,
it should be arguable. It should be arguable that they are walking out of there with 1 point when they went down to 9 men.
nah,
So
because VAR actually made the correct call every time it was called into play. My only
I didn't count any of those offside
my,
goals.
my only complaint is how long it took sometimes for them to make the right decision. It seems like they take 5 minutes to make a decision every game now, not just in
To,
this game.
to be fair, there
Why
has been
get
a
all that added on time?
there has been a lot of mistakes this season. So you
Yeah,
kind of just
they're like scared now. They
yeah,
it's so
yeah.
bad at their job like
And
now.
you think you know what did it? You know what did it? It
Honestly,
was the
pressure.
PGMOL releasing the audio for Liverpool.
Yeah, now they want to double check everything before they
Yeah.
trusted each other to make the wrong call. But now it's like they don't trust themselves to make the right call. It's fun. They deserve it though. They've been making wrong calls for decades now. They need to figure it out. But yeah, props to my Chelsea. I think kind of unfair to say that we definitely didn't deserve to win that game. But it's like
Oh, I didn't say anything about deserve.
it's a derby. Emotions are heightened. Tackles are flying in, and
Yeah.
one team managed to keep their cool way better than the other. One
I
team,
will say Van der Ven definitely knew what time it was. Christian Romero definitely knew what time it was. He was just a bit over the top, and obviously that's how he got his red card. So 100%, I agree with you. It was a derby match. It
also
Sparks. It
some
was meant
unfortunate
to fly.
injuries for Spurs too, with Madison and I think Van de Ven went off too.
Van der Ven
So
went off. Van der Ven is looking like it might be a long
yeah,
out.
it was Udoka
But
I think who got the other card. Yeah,
but
but yeah, it's
Madison's injury, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that bad. It looks like he might be okay at the weekend. We'll see.
all right, good for them. But it's like last week we asked ourselves like how long will Spurs stay top? Their stay at the top lasted all of 2 days. I think it ended the day the episode dropped. So.
No, to be honest, to be honest. Oh well. There was another match that took place, which I think was the actual match of the weekend. Arsenal Newcastle, and it was actually the goal that ended up winning the game. Gordon goal came at the very end. Excuse me. Quite the controversial. There was three VAR checks done on this one goal. First was to check if it went out all the way at the corner flag. It did not go out. Well, I think it did not go out. There was, I believe, Bain Sports put out something on Twitter shortly after the decision was given, of one of their camera angles showing that the ball fully, not the full ball, was over the line. Um, so that was good. Apparently, there was a handball that they were checking, and then they were checking for a foul from Joel Linton on Gabriel. And so I'll go ahead and start it off. I don't think that should have been given as a goal. I think primarily it was due to the foul on Joel Linton because I do think it was a foul. However, I can't be too upset that it wasn't given because real time, I thought at first it was a 50-50 foul. The more I saw the replay, I was thinking, okay, definitely. The more I saw the replay, I'd give it. But in real time, I really thought it was 50-50 at the time. So at first, I didn't think anything of it. Um, if the ref was gonna give it. So that's my piece. What do you say?
Oh, I think it was a goal. Like it was just a goal. The ball
Outright,
the ball did
no
not go
foul,
out.
no nothing.
Nope. The goal. First of all, the ball did not go out of play. Secondly, it was not a foul. If you
It
watch
wasn't
it,
a foul.
it wasn't a foul. It was like you said, a 50-50 chance, both going for the ball. And then the third of all, it wasn't offside. And it was a tap in. It was a goal. It was actually probably what Newcastle deserved on the game. I think the only disgrace was just how
Mm.
long it took them to decide to
I
that
mean, they were doing three checks. It was a lot to check.
like but it's just I don't know how they gotta they gotta be quicker than that, because like first of all, the first check shouldn't even be a check. We already know automatically if the ball is over the line. The only thing they should and
Do we though?
the outside. the offside. No, I mean goal line technology goes. Like we know we have the cameras that tell us if it's over the line or not. And secondly, the offside, we should already know if it's offside or not. We draw the line. We know immediately. The only thing that could have been gone either way is a foul that wasn't really a foul, just a 50-50, like, and it's like Arsenal also got away with some on the other end. So I think, in all fairness, Newcastle deserved to win that game, and kudos to them to win. They actually really do need that win. They've been taking a lot of L's, but the L's have been to teams that are better than them. So they just needed that against Arsenal.
I think they're having a hard time. I also think Newcastle's having a hard time getting used to being in Europe, because a lot of those poor performances have either come before or after Europe. So it is what it is. Now that they've reached this level, it's just a new thing they have to be prepared for. It's their first season.
It's just growing pains, If they can remain in the European spot this year, which I think they will, they'll be better at it next year. So even if they crash out of Europe, I think crashing out of Europe will be actually maybe good for them, maybe bad for their pride. I think they probably will at least maybe even want to go to Europa League, because
I mean, for a first appearance after a while, I don't think crashing out is too bad. But I would definitely push for Europa if I'm them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to just go and not play Europe for, they're not Man U. They're not in crisis.
I mean, at this point, they would have reached half the season. So half the season in Europe, that's not a bad proposition, especially if you get the rest of the half season to make sure you're back in Europe next season. And then this season, you have this season's experience knowing full well how it is. So you'll be better prepared going next year. I don't know. It doesn't sound too bad for me.
And it's not even like they're like 100% like guaranteed to crash out either. But it's looking that way. And if I was Newcastle, I'd rather just play in Europa League. It's less of a skill challenge for them, and I think they'll be okay. I think they're
you win Europa League. You win Europa League, you kill two birds, one stone. You get a European trophy, and you qualify for Champions League. So whatever happens in the league, you don't really have to worry about. All right, the last thing, we're on our last legs before we call it quits for this episode. This weekend we have a very big match coming up, especially for the two of us. Manchester City versus your Chelsea boys. All right, here we are. Prediction time. That's how we're going to close it out today. And we'll let you go first. What do you think is going to be the outcome for our little get together this weekend?
I think it's going to be a draw.
Oh, you're foolish.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a draw at the bridge.
You're foolish.
0.
I think Chelsea. Oh, my goodness.
We either draw or we sneak away with a 1-0, because I think Poch. I think Poch has watched enough film and knows what his team has enough to get them to play 90 minutes of defending with their lives, because that's really what they have to do. Because
this is not
like, we should not even attempt to, like, Jackson should be on the bench. We should not even play a striker.
Just hold on, Jackson's on the. Don't even. Yeah. This is not analysis. This is hope and prayer.
This game, we're not even trying to win this game. We're just trying not to lose. Like, I think that's analysis.
This is not analysis. This is what you want and what you hope for your team to do.
Oh, I mean, look, that's what I would do if I was manager. I just try not to lose. It's like, in reality, the chances are Man City wins 3-0. Like, we're going off probability. Like, Man City just tear us a new one 3-0. We're not even good at our own home. So it's like, yeah, we suck at Stamford Bridge, but if I was Poch, I just go in and try don't do anything but stop Man City from scoring. That's it.
Well, it's unfortunate to hear that, because, like you said, 3-0 is going to be my exact prediction. We are going to step in there. Honestly, bro, after hearing you, I said I was going to say 3-1, but I think we might do you like Bournemouth. I wouldn't be surprised if we put 5 or 6 past you with the way you sound. You sound like you have no faith, no hope in your boys. You sound like you're prepared to just watch your
I
boys.
know. I just know my team though. I just know what we're capable of, and know that trying to beat Man City is just more than we can handle right now. It's like we know what league each team. We know what how good each team are. It's like why are we trying to beat the 3-time champions like at Stamford Beach where we're terrible? Like let's just try to make it respectful at least. Like defending well should be our main priority rather than trying to win.
Okay, well, at least you know an L is coming. See, I can't. It just takes the fun out of it if you already know an L is coming. It's okay. How long will be scoring 2 goals? How long will be scoring?
I'm using
How
my
long will be
brain,
scoring 2 goals? Helping
logic,
my
and not
teams.
like I'm thinking with my brain. I'm not delusional. I think I can see
Nonsense.
it. I'm not a Man U fan who thinks they have a chance. Like no man. I wish Zach was here. I don't know what Zach thinks, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think we're playing Sunday 11:30. I will be there no matter.
No, I will be there, and you better be in the group chat because you will be hearing me. All
Big
right, and that does it for us tonight. If you've been rocking with us for this long, up until the end, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Like, comment, subscribe, pass it, share it with your friends, family, all that good stuff. And as always, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Talkative Sports Podcast. Peace.